It's Two on the Aisle with me, Charles Gross, and Leslie Hoban Blake. Tonight we review La Bete, A Life in the Theater, Lombardi, and the Flying Camarasa Brothers. And ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Two on the Aisle. Good evening. I'm Charles Gross.
And I'm the aforementioned Leslie Hoban Blake.
Yes. Welcome to Two on the Aisle. Well, it is a very busy season on Broadway right now. So we are going to start with La Bete.
Okay.
And as La Bete is in verse, I have written a very special review for it. So here we go. They speak in verse and feel no pain, but does this production of La Bete entertain? It takes us back to 1654 and tells of a theater company. But wait, there's more. Their patron princess wishes for them to include a new playwright performer who couldn't be more crude. He talks, and he's very annoying. And I must say his monologue I was not enjoying. For while Mark Rylance has a talent for rhyme, I found myself bored after a very short time. True, I like David Hyde Pierce, whose character must complain that including Rylance in the company would be really insane. It's a medieval version of his Niles Crane. As the patron princess, Joanna Lumley is ab-fab. When she is on stage, the play is less drab. While I was sure this would be a play I'd adore, I found La Bete to be labor. And that's my review. Leslie, over to you.
Oh, and even that last line rhymes. Wow. I'm totally impressed, Charlie. I don't agree with it, but I'm totally impressed. I actually love this. This is so far my favorite play of the year. So here we are with, absolutely diametrically opposed views. I saw this play when it originally came out, which had to be 20-something years ago, and I hated it. I couldn't have agreed with you more.
Who was in it?
Oh, you had to ask me that. A guy named Tom McGowan and nobody else I can remember, and I never heard of Tom McGowan again except like in small parts in movies. And it was written by David Hurson, the same guy who wrote it. And I believe this is exactly the same play. I don't know that he changed it in any way. So it has to be the production.
See, that rhymed. It's the same play. I don't think he changed
please.
it in any way.
I told him I wasn't going to be able to do a rhyme, so that was okay. So that's what amazed me. I went in going, oh, I've seen this. I'm not going to have any fun. And I loved it. And I just adored the performances. I loved the set. There's this floor to ceiling and just incredible books in a library, and it just, you want to go live there because it looked like such a wonderful place to be. And I absolutely adored the performances. Mark Rylance, the thing that you hated, that 20-minute monologue in verse, the whole play is in verse, but that 20-minute monologue that he does, I was sitting there going, oh my God, I don't believe he's doing this. It was just unbelievable.
I will give you that it was an unbelievable performance.
Yeah.
I appreciated the talent that went into it. I appreciate the way he can do verse because it just slid off his tongue. No one else in the cast
You didn't know it was verse.
could do it so naturally. I mean, frankly, I know the guy is supposed to be crude, but did he have to use the restroom right in the middle of the monologue?
Well, it went beyond crude. It went into Eddie Murphy territory, okay? Eddie Murphy does some weird thing in every movie where he talks about poop, and his movies make millions and millions and millions of dollars. So obviously, but that's really what this is about. You have David Hyde Pierce playing a character named Elamir. No, you have. I'm going to get into the point about that. Elamir is the very aesthete writer, the one who writes all the wonderful plays, and his name is a play on Molière. It's an anagram of Molière. So you get the idea that they're talking about elevated things. The difficulty here is that Molière didn't write elevated plays. They were in verse, but they were farce. They were knockabout farces for the time period. The other playwrights of his time period, Racine and Corneille, wrote the elevated plays. And this kind of, I get the feeling that when Hurson wrote this play, he probably was a graduate student. I don't know for sure, but it almost comes out like the work of a grad student who knows a little bit too much about all of this stuff, and so he throws everything in but the kitchen sink. And but it works. When he's making these remarks, when he's talking about, Elamere talks about wanting to elevate the theater.
This is the Hyde Pierce.
The Hyde Pierce character. And then Mark Rylance bumbles his way in, farting all along the way, and saying all these outlandish things, and he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's pontificating on things he's heard other people say, and he gets them all wrong. But there are little glimpses of what was supposed to be said. And I'm thinking to myself, what happens is the princess that you mentioned, played by Lumley, who is just wonderful.
Yes.
The princess wants the two to be in one company. She wants them to be one. And what he's saying, what Kirsten, the writer, is saying about is, we can't just have elevated theater. We have to have some of this lower stuff too to make it real. Well, isn't that something that we've said? We still say today. People are saying, no, that's people aren't going to go to that. They want to see, and that's where I brought in the Eddie Murphy poop joke kind of thing. I think that's what's happened is people will pay money now to go see that, and they may not pay money to go see a Broadway show.
Well,
so
people are paying money to see Broadway shows.
Okay.
And not everything on Broadway is Shakespeare. As a matter of fact, there has always been is Broadway artistic, or do they just rely too much on popular shows? That's been an argument that's probably been going on ever since the Broadway theater began.
I think that's the point of this play. Here we have it.
But, and I won't disagree with the talent that is on stage. All I will say, and you know what? There were people to the right of me laughing, people to the left of it. But all I know is I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, gee, he's doing it so well. Why am I not enjoying it? But the bottom line is I wasn't. The play did not hold my attention. I found him very annoying, which I guess was the point. But you're supposed to find Mark Ryland's character.
Yes.
You're supposed to find him funny annoying. You're supposed to be kind of laughing and watching him play off of David Hyde Pierce, who again really is doing a variation of Niles Crane, very snobbish, very uppity, he takes umbrage with the whole thing. And
a little more masculine than Niles was. I think he was quite masculine.
Well, again, it's a variation, and this is the 1600s version. So when men were men.
Yes, I guess that's true.
And Hyde Pierce, he's willing to come and fight. He's willing to stand up to the princess, even if it means losing his position.
Which it will.
Yes.
But
bottom line is, I didn't enjoy myself. I was there, I was bored. I didn't identify with any of the characters. It was just saying, okay, come on, go. And even though I could appreciate the talent that went into these performances, I simply didn't enjoy it.